What if I told you there are birds so beautiful that scientists simply gave up trying to describe them and called one beautiful and another regal? What if I told you there's a tiny creature that survives freezing Himalayan nights by slowing its own heart almost to a stop? And what if I told you that the most stunning bird in this story carries the name of a woman whose tragic tale is as remarkable as the bird itself? Over the next 2 episodes, we will travel from the gardens of India to the gorilla forests of Central Africa, from the frozen peaks of the Himalayas to the flower kingdoms of South Africa. We will meet 10 living jewels, 10 miracles of evolution, the 10 most beautiful sunbirds on Earth. This is their story. In the first light of morning, when the world is still painted in gold and shadow, something extraordinary is about to happen. A visitor arrives, weighing less than 2 teaspoons of sugar, yet carrying on its feathers the colors of precious stones. This is a sunbird. They are often called the hummingbirds of the old world, but that comparison does them a disservice. Sunbirds cannot hover like hummingbirds. They cannot fly backwards. But what they lack in aerial acrobatics, they more than make up for in sheer, breathtaking beauty. 145 species, found across Africa, Asia, and Australia, each one dressed in colors that seem almost impossible. Their secret lies not in pigments or dyes, but in architecture. Microscopic structures within each feather bend and refract light like millions of tiny prisms. The result is color that seems almost alive. And now, let us meet 10 of the most beautiful of them all. But be warned, the further we travel, the more spectacular they become. And the bird waiting at the end carries a story that may just move you to tears. Our journey begins not in wilderness, but in the heart of human civilization. India, a land of over 1 billion people, ancient temples, and countless gardens. And in these gardens lives a bird that has made a remarkable choice: the purple sunbird. At first glance, it seems almost ordinary. A small, dark bird, nothing remarkable. And then, the sun finds it. What appeared to be black reveals itself as the deepest purple, shot through with violet and midnight blue, an explosion of color, hidden in plain sight. While other sunbirds retreat from humanity, this species has embraced it. In the flower pots of Mumbai, the temple gardens of Varanasi, the balconies of Bangalore, it thrives. Scientists once believed the dull brown birds they saw in winter were a completely different species. They had no idea they were looking at the same bird in disguise. The purple sunbird can visit 1,000 flowers in a single day. It builds its nest from spider silk, and it has learned that where humans plant flowers, there is always a meal waiting. Living proof that wildness and beauty can exist even in our busiest cities. But if you think a color-changing urban survivor is impressive, wait until you meet a bird that lives in one of the harshest environments on the African continent without ever taking a single drink of water. "2,000 miles west, a different world entirely. The Sahel, Africa's great belt of semi-desert, where the Sahara slowly yields to savanna. This is a land of extremes, Scorching heat, precious little water. Not the place you might expect to find one of Africa's most colorful birds. The beautiful sunbird. When scientists first described this species, they did something unusual. They reached for the Latin word pulchellus. It means simply beautiful. An official declaration written into its very name that this bird is something special. Look at it. A head of metallic emerald green, a chest band of blazing scarlet, a belly of bright sunshine yellow. Green for the acacia canopy above, red for the African earth below, yellow for the sun that rules this land. A living traffic light painted in the colors of the savanna itself. But here is what makes this bird truly remarkable. In this land where water is more precious than gold, the beautiful sunbird extracts every drop of moisture it needs from nectar alone. It has never, in its entire life, needed to drink. When the rains move, it follows. When the flowers bloom, it appears. A nomad of the Sahel, dressed in impossible colors. Now we climb to the highlands of East Africa, to a landscape that looks like another planet, and to a bird with a bill so curved it seems designed by a mathematician. Rising from the plains of East Africa are mountains that touch the sky. At 3,000 meters, the air is thin, the nights are cold, and the plants have grown to giant proportions. Giant lobelias, giant heathers, otherworldly shapes covered in frost. This is a landscape from another age. And here lives a bird unlike any other, the golden-winged sunbird. Its bill is the first thing you notice, dramatically curved, sweeping downward like a crescent moon. No other sunbird on Earth possesses such an extreme curve. This is no accident. This bill has been shaped over millions of years to match one specific flower, the lion's ear plant. Watch as it feeds. The curve of the bill matches the curve of the flower perfectly. A key and its lock, shaped together across countless generations. But it is the wings that give this bird its name. When it spreads them, patches of purest golden yellow catch the mountain light like signals across the highland mist. So unique is this bird that scientists have placed it in a genus all its own. It has no close relatives. It stands completely alone. From the unique, we now travel to the royal, deep into one of the most biodiverse forests on Earth, where mountain gorillas roam in the mist, and where a tiny bird wears a crown fit for a king. In the heart of Central Africa lies one of the most ancient forests on Earth, Bwendi, the impenetrable forest. This is the realm of mountain gorillas, forest elephants, creatures found nowhere else on the planet. The Albertine Rift, a chain of mountains and valleys that contains more unique species than anywhere else in Africa. And in the shadows of the great apes, living among giants, a much smaller creature wears a crown of its own, the regal sunbird. Regius in Latin means royal, and when you see it, you understand why. A crown of emerald green that glitters like polished jade, a sash of royal crimson across the breast, robes of burnished gold covering the belly. 3 colors, perfectly arranged, like the livery of a medieval king. This bird shares its forest with some of Africa's most iconic animals, silverback gorillas that weigh 200 kilograms, forest elephants that shake the ground as they walk, leopards that hunt in the darkness. And yet this tiny creature, weighing less than a single gorilla's finger, commands its own respect. It pollinates flowers that grow nowhere else. It fills the misty forest with song. It is, in its own small way, as important to this ecosystem as any giant. We leave the mountains of Central Africa now and travel south to the very tip of the continent, to a landscape so unique it is considered one of the 6 floral kingdoms of the world, and to a bird found absolutely nowhere else on Earth. At the southern tip of Africa, where the Atlantic meets the Indian Ocean, lies a landscape like no other. The fynbos, a kingdom of flowers. More plant species per square meter than the Amazon rainforest. Proteas, ericas, restios, ancient families of plants that have evolved here and only here for millions of years. And among them lives a bird equally unique, the orange-breasted sunbird. No other sunbird on Earth wears this color on its breast, bright, burning orange, the color of sunset over Table Mountain. Its head glitters with metallic green, its throat flashes violet, but it is that orange breast that sets it apart from every other sunbird in the world. So evolutionarily distinct is this bird that, like the golden-winged sunbird, it stands completely alone in its own genus. Scientists believe it may be one of the oldest sunbird lineages still alive today, a living fossil dressed in the colors of fire. But the orange-breasted sunbird is more than just beautiful. It is essential. Without this bird, many of South Africa's famous proteas could not reproduce. The pollen-dustic forehead of each sunbird carries life from flower to flower, a partnership 10 million years old. We have now met 5 extraordinary birds: the urban survivor, the desert jewel, the mathematical marvel, the forest royal, the ancient flame. But our journey is only half complete. In episode 2, we climb to even greater heights. We meet a bird with a chest like molten lava, a bird with a tail made of fire, and a bird so beloved an entire nation claimed it as their own. And finally, we meet a bird named after a remarkable woman, a bird so beautiful that it takes its place as the most stunning sunbird on Earth. The story continues with the crown jewels.